Man, air strut of death. White lightning's letting me down. Let's get this baby fixed. And maybe do an exorcism. Who knows? Hey, thanks for tuning in. Well, today I've got the air strut of death. So I'm going to take care of that. So today I'm working on my E550 W211, and I'm a little disappointed. I've just bought this thing. You can go back a couple videos and you can see where I just bought this thing. I've had it 4 weeks or something, and you know, I've already had to replace the throttle pedal for the position sensor, the brake light switch to kill the ESP warning, and now I've got the front strut that's gone bad. So I don't know if this thing's got some bad juju hanging around it, if it's, got some karma. So I don't know what to do about that. Do an exorcism. I'm not sure. We'll do something. But anyway, so the solution today is to replace the air strut. And I went with FCP Euro on this air strut. This is a reconditioned unit from Arnault, whatever. The reason why I went with FCP Euro is because they give you a lifetime unconditional warranty. So if this thing goes again, they'll replace it for free. You have to pay for shipping back and forth, I guess. But hey, man, this thing's $500 with tax and everything. That's for the reconditioned unit. So it's a good deal. I usually get my stuff from FCP Euro or RM European. RM European's a little bit closer to me, and they do free shipping. The shipping from FCP Euro was about $50 on this thing to California. And, but in this case, for the insurance, for the lifetime warranty, I'll cough up. I'll do it. So this shouldn't be that complicated, and I think every video I say that something goes wrong, but this is a pretty well-traveled path. You just have to take out the old strut, put the new strut in, and not a big deal. Kind of standard hand tools. You need some standards for whatever reason. There's some 13/16s on there, and then the rest of it's kind of metric. You got the nut on the airline to the strut that's a 10 mil, I think, a 10 millimeter standard 10 millimeter wrench. You'll need some 10 millimeter socket for the fender liner and the 13/16s, and I think that's about it. Maybe a couple more things I'll show you as I go along. But the unit came from these guys, and it is very well packaged. It comes like this, and keep your packaging, because the core charge on this, $200, and you pay for the shipping back. So keep that in mind. The other interesting thing about the new Arnault, God dang, I don't know, is their air valve instructions are different now than what you see on the website. They, I believe, have you use the old one on the video where you just screw the airline back in. Now they have you take the old fitting off of the airline, and then you just plug the raw airline into this new fitting that's already installed on here. So hopefully that's not a problem coming back out. I don't know if it's reusable, or we'll find out. I don't care right now. I just need to get this thing fixed and get my car back on the road, because this is my work vehicle. And I think that should be it. So without much further ado, let's get at it. The other thing I'm going to do while I've got this up there, again, if you go back to my first video where I bought this thing just a few weeks ago, I told you I broke my cardinal rules. I did not do a pre-purchase inspection. I did not do a visual inspection myself. I bought it out of state, and the first time I saw it is when I picked it up. So I'm going to get underneath this thing. I'm going to take a look at the suspension, see if there's anything going wonky. Those lower control arms on these W211s seem to have a pretty short lifespan. I'm at 50,000 miles right now, and I'm gathering that that's kind of about the life cycle of the lower control arm, or Mercedes has another name for it I can't recall. But anyway, we'll take a look at all that stuff, see what's what, and assess at that time. But let's get going, man. Hold tight. So my plan is that hopefully this leak is not so bad that it won't pressurize. I'm gonna go ahead, I've already put this into the mode where it will raise the front up. Come on, Shadow, can you see that? So I've got this activated. Come on, you can't even see the light, it's so bright, and there it goes. So raise the front end up as much as it will go. I don't know that having the stiffer shock settings on will help, but let's hope that that raises it up enough. Let's see what happens when I start her. We should hear it kick on. Okay, let's see if we're gonna get any love here. I'm sure hoping so. Ah, there she goes. A little bit, maybe. Sure hope so. Come on, baby, do it. There it goes. A little bit is trying. Come on. You don't have to do a whole bunch. You just need to get up high enough. There she goes. A little bit more. It's trying. Ah. Can you hear it leaking? Every time it tries to pressurize. So, all right, that's going to be enough. At least I'll be able to drive it onto the ramps. So I'm just going to let this sit here and pressurize, and then I'll bring on, I'll bring out the Mustang, get this one up on the lift, and we'll continue on. But that worked. Don't have a lot of clearance, but enough to get her going. Cool. $17mm for the studs, for the wheel studs. Oh, I have these things on there. Holy smokes. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. All right, so there's going to be what, 1, 2, 3, 4, just a handful of these little plastic guys. You're gonna have to get this guy off. I think he's just a pry off. And then there's a couple of these down here. These are the plastic ones, are 10s, and I think these are 8s right down here. There's 2 of these that are 8s. There's a little push pin thing back in here. Can you see that? I don't know. Maybe not. There you go, right there. And then back here, can you see this? Maybe. Kind of tough, because here we go, like this. Can you see that there's a little push pin underneath here? This one's already undone for some reason, but he's right underneath here. This is looking forward. You can see this one's been pulled out for some reason. And so that's it. We'll zip those out really quick. There we go. Just like that. Fender liners out. So nothing really too amazing about getting those little plastic nuts off. This is a little bit touchy just because it is old and brittle. This car's a 2008, so just be careful with this thing. Use some good pry tools, or if you're not using, you know, good pry tools, just be gentle with it if you're using screwdrivers or whatever. And again, this is where that other push pin was. This is just behind the fender liner. It's just one of these things, little push pin, if you can see that. And then there's the other one over here. Again, be patient with these things. They are old and they are gonna wanna, you know, maybe break on you. So that's it. Fender liner's out. I'm just peeking around in here now. Everything looks pretty dry. You know, these are the oil filled or whatever they have in them, but I don't see any wet spots of any kind. On the back one back here, all of the boots look pretty good. I'll get a better shot from underneath. So what we're going to do is we're going to undo this electrical. This goes to the shock. We're going to undo this. And then there's the bolts down here on the bottom. There's one up here on top that we're going to have to undo apparently. That is the upper ball joint. And I've got a separator for that. I'll show you that. And then there'll be 3 nuts on top underneath the hood. We'll get that. That's it. Pretty straightforward. So upper ball joint, that's a 16 mil. I'm just going to leave that nut on there, down flush to the top of the threads there. So when I do the separator, I do not destroy the threads because we're going to reuse that ball joint. So I've got my bearing separator on here. Goes. Well, apparently this will not be done without some sacrifices. So this little bracket right here has a bunch of the electrical connectors, and the one for the air shock is on the back side of this thing. So I thought I'd be able to just gently pry this thing off, but it just snapped right off. I don't know if there was some secret trick to doing that. I don't know. The other thing is that on the back side, so as I said, the connector for the air strut is back here on the back side, and what you'll see is that there is a little tab. Can I even get that on here? See that little tiny tab right in the center? So what you'll need to do is move that to the left, I guess is the best way I can describe it. So there are 3 pins, and the way I'm holding this is, there you go, can you see the 3 pins? So you're going to move it from this orientation, trying to get this lined up so you can see. So it's going to be mounted like this, and you're going to want to push that tab either down is the right way, or if you're holding it like this, you know, towards you, you're going to push this little tab to this side, and the best thing I found for that is just a nice pick, and then it slides backwards. It slides back this way, So how am I gonna secure this thing back up? I don't know. I mean, maybe it just dangles forever. I don't know. That's kind of a bummer. I couldn't figure out how it was supposed to come out. I thought it was just a pry out. And I can't find anything on here that kind of gives me, kind of gives me an idea of how it was supposed to come out. It's just snapped off. All right, so that's that. Moving on. So for some odd reason, The lower bolt is a 13/16. It says 13/16, but it sure wants to be stuck on there. I think it might be metric. I don't know. I just went by what it said. I should have actually done my own work. Moving to the top of the car, gonna undo these two little pins here. And this should just lift up like that. Just gonna move it out of the way. Just gonna move it out of the way, I think. Like that. And then there's gonna be our 3 nuts up here. I believe those are 13s. And this little guy here, ooh, I don't know if I can get at that. Hopefully I've got something small enough to get in there. We'll see. But that should be like a 10, I think. So just a 10. And you can come in and add a little angle. And it's just going to be, you know, a series of little turns. FCP Euro makes a little tool that slides over the airline and goes in. It's more like a socket. There it goes. And here's the mod that we'll have to do. I'll show you that shortly. But this has to pop off, and then the whole nut, that doesn't get reused. So we'll just gently put that off to the side for a second. Those should be 13s, I do believe. And yes, they are. Now we'll save your ears from the impact. I'll do this by hand. What I do is these all the way So actually what I'll do is I'll pull off 2 of these and I'll just leave 1 just for some working room. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to pull this bolt out. So got my transmission jack underneath here just so this doesn't drop quickly, and also if I want to raise it up, it'll just give me some more leverage rather than trying to do it by hand. So first thing I'm going to do is pull that bolt out down there, then I'll undo the nut and let this fall down completely, and then we'll start wrangling that thing out. So let me see how loose this is. It's pretty loose. Come on. There it goes. All right, so that's done. And then this, where's my, we'll just zip this under. All right, so that's done. So now the weight is completely on the transmission jack. And you can see I can move this around, it's all free. Want to be very careful. Don't want to kill any of these brake lines. So we will be mindful of that. Might actually just go ahead and undo that while I'm thinking about it. Give myself a little extra slack just in case. Come on. There we go. There we go. Little floppy flop. Okay. All right, so that's it. The rest of it's going to be wrangling out the strut itself. Hold on a second. Go up on top and get that last 13 nut. And now the strut is free. And let's see. Maybe I can drop this down a little. Careful. Careful. Go easy on those brake components. All right, so that is hanging down completely free. This is the steering knuckle's completely free. It's being held up by the control arms now. My jack isn't even holding that. So all I need to do is be able to get this up and over a little bit. So work on that a little. So that's all the way up. And then I can just work that like that. And there we go. Out she comes. Done. Here it is out of the car. I can't see anything that shows an immediate fail point. It must be internal, I guess. Looks like it's the stock part. I would hope so at 50,000 miles. I don't know what that is. Anyway, so there it is, out in its glory. Cool. Moving on. So here's something that's interesting, and I didn't even think to check this out. This is the remanufactured strut from Arnaut. I just gave them a call, so it is officially Arnaut, not Arnaud, Arnaut. Anyway, so this is the reman, and it supports the adaptive, the ADS, adaptive dampening sensor. And check this out. This is the passenger side, and look what it has here. So this is the AS2785, which is their brand new. So this is not a reman. This is Arnaut's new strut. But guess what? It does not support the ADS. It's custom valve, but does not do ADS. So can you mix and match them? Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to put this together. I mean, I don't have a choice. But do I swap this one out so that they match? You know, spend another $500 and do this job again? Maybe. I don't know. What would you do? Anyway, there you go. Little tidbit there. Yep, I'll get putting this back together now. So just threaded this guy back up and in. Pretty simple. Assembly is just going to be reverse of the disassembly. Just have these in loosely, just pulled it up into position, and then the bolt just kind of fit right in, right where it was supposed to. Maybe we can get this thing to just kind of zip on into place. Kind of like that. And I'll put some Loctite on here for that guy. And then that's it. I don't think you need to see the whole reassembly process. It fit right back in. This is going to go back in. The only thing I don't know about is this guy. Gosh darn it. I hate breaking stuff. And I hate breaking stuff that you just can't go out and get. I mean, I don't know how that was supposed to stay in there. Maybe it was just maybe it was just a hanger. I don't know. I can't tell you. There's nothing left of it to check. So I thought I don't know. I can't figure it out. I don't know how it's supposed to work. Anyway, there you go. We'll leave it there for right now. I'll give you an update once I have it all back together. Some torque values for you. The lower strut is going to be 165 Newton meters. The upper ball joint is going to be 43 Newton meters. And then these up on top are going to be 25 Newton meters. There you go. When doing the upper strut, tightening that nut down, you're going to need to hold the center with a number 4 Allen, and then tighten the nut. And then once that gets seated, then you can do your torque. It should allow you to do the torque. So there you go. So after a little bit more investigation here and sleuthing, so the way this works, can you see this has a little hook on the back of it? So you want that to go back up into that little, can you see that? Right back up in there we go. So this is going to hook back up in there. This is going to hook back up in there like that. And then all this does is just pushes up and snaps in. And to release it, all you have to do is push up, and pull out. That's it. Wow. Okay. Good enough. Done. So here's where things get different for the remanufactured part. So this is what the stock airline fitting looks like, just like this. And here's this little collet. You can't see it because, let me see if I can spin it without damaging it. Can I even find my hand again on this thing? There we go. So you just need to spread that. Oops, come on, focus. There we go. Spread that, remove it, remove the nut. So there we go, this is a better depiction. So there's that part that I was just showing you. Remove that, and then all you're gonna do is remove the whatever, the shipping nut, whatever you want to call it, and then you just jam the hose in there and then it self locks. So that's it. That's like the only difference between that and the stock line. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, everything's back together, torqued and torqued, and all the lines are reconnected. Fender liner's back in, all the little plastic nuts are back where they should be, all the little push pins are back where they should be. Let's see, wiped off all of my greasy hand stuff off of the rotor. Let's see, got all this back together up here. That cover's back on, airline's connected, power's connected, the 3 nuts are torqued. We'll throw the wheel back on, we'll drop her back down and see what happens. Should be good to go though. Pretty straightforward. So here's the thing I'm thinking about, is that this side was a factory Mercedes part and the other side was not. that was the replacement unit. That was the part number, what did we say it was? Part number AS2785, which is their completely new, not remanufactured, that the guy at Arnott said is does not support ADS. So I didn't notice any difference driving the thing down the road. Do I bother changing it now? I don't know. I'll contemplate. All right, so let me put the tire back on. We'll get the thing back down on the ground, and I'll do a final summary here. All right, so that'll do it for this one. Takeaways, pretty straightforward. Let's say I started at 12:30. It's about 4:30 now. That's with taking a lunch break and doing the filming. I'll bet you if you were just to do this start to finish, if you were ready to go and knew all the tools and everything straight away, it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe, something like that. Really easy, straightforward. I'm going to show you right now the car's sitting like a 4x4, and so I'm gonna do a startup and let's see how she drops down. Hopefully it goes like this, and it will look all normal and easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So until next time, have a good time. See you later. Good to go.